Well, hello everyone, and today we are in Marseille, La France, at the Airbus helicopter facility, where especially this type of helicopter, the H225, is manufactured. We're on the big apron in front of the hangar, and if we go look on the other side of this hangar, that's where we had our engineering training for maintenance of this helicopter. Well, not this one, it's his predecessor. That's the Super Puma helicopter, but basically they are the same. The difference is with this one, different engines, and it's got 5 main rotor blades. So let's have a look up close and let's do our walk around. So we're gonna start on the other side here as we're walking around. Alright, so first of all we're gonna check if the cabin is okay. Well, it looks very nice, beautiful comfort seats here. And if you look at on the EFB, you don't have this many seats available for you. Alright, so first we're gonna close this door, and then we're gonna start right here at the front, and let's do our walk around. Normally the chuck should be in place at the main landing gear, but now nothing is there. There are no covers for this helicopter. So we're gonna look up the front. You got the pitot tubes. Have to remove the cover and check the pitot tubes. So there will be some holes on the side here. They are not in this aircraft. But you check the pitot tube, of course. There's no obstruction here on the front and here on the side. There are little holes here on the side, and that's static air. Right, so we come up here and then we can open the radome, and you'll find here the weather radar. Normally what you would do is unscrew these two, and then you can, it's like a door, you can slide it to the side and you can have a look here on the inside. And you can see the batteries are on that side. We can't see them here, but just you check for all the connections, that everything is fine, that there are no birds nesting in here. You're gonna check the fluid for the windows. So you're gonna check the fluid here, just like with a normal car. And as you can see, it's French made, so it's most likely like a deux chevaux, but then bigger. Then we're gonna close this one, and you have to make sure that both these connectors here, or these latches, and especially on that side, that they are locked in place, and that the radome is not dent or scratched or anything. And we, of course, we check the main, the nose landing gear, the tires. We check the tires. Then we come up here. You're gonna just check the wipers and the wiper blades, that everything is connected. No leakages for the wash fluid, of course. You're gonna check the windows with all the rivets. And then we come up here, and this is the door jettison handle. And you have to make sure that this handle has some brake wire on it, not a lock wire but brake wire. So you can be sure that this one hasn't been used. And you also check here on the inside, and that's the door jettison handle on the inside, and you check that for brake wire and the proper position. So what you do, if you want to jettison the door from the outside, if you want to rescue one of the pilots and the fire department comes and they have to get them out, they're not gonna pull the door open, they want to have the door completely removed. So they push on this handle, or pull on this handle, and this one will come out. This how do you call it? It's in that, this hinge will come out, and this hinge will come out, and the door will fall out. But that's not for today. We can't jettison the door. So we're gonna check the door here, and what you want to check is all these locks here. You got 3 locks on this door, 1, 2, 3, and you want to make sure that they are latching in place here. So when you close the door, you just want to be sure that everything is secured, and this one can go in the upward position. So you check that there are no openings on the side of the door. If that one is open, then one of those latches for the door is not lined up correctly, and it will leak. Right, and then you got your tie-down ring here. That should be locked in place there. Normally there is a metal clip that you can click it in, and then it's secured. Make sure you remove the cover of this part, and this is all part for the flight computers, or temperature and air pressure and everything. Right, so you come up here. We didn't have these ones, so these are the extra fuel tanks, and this is for gravity refueling. And once you come up here, as we have got some airplanes leaving here, there you go. You make sure that there's this rubber on the door stop here. So this is the stop for the sliding door. And you want to make sure that this rail here is clean, and a little bit, maybe a little bit grease in there for the rollers here, that they can slide through this rail. You're gonna check the windows for the seals here. Every window on the side is an emergency exit, and then there are the main emergency exits. That's this big window here. So if you can see it here, you can see the door is a main emergency exit. It's outlined with red, and then this window on the front here is also a main emergency exit, and this window is bigger than the other window. That's why it's a main emergency exit. But you cannot always use this exit because when this door is open, you can't use those 2 exits. But then again, you got the big door open, and you can leave the aircraft from that side. So once we come up here, we're gonna check the fuel cap here, that it's locked and in place. And we're gonna check right here, that is the main cabin door jettison handle. So also for fire department rescue workers, if they want to get people out of the helicopter after a crash or a fire, they can pull on this handle. You see it's locked in place here. Pull on this handle, pull it out for about 1 meter, and then this door will jettison out of its hinges here. So what will happen is that this lock, and you can see it right here, this one will fall out, this one will go down like this. It will go down, it will fall out of its rails there, because it's not supported here anymore. So the 2 on the top, the 2 rollers on the top, they will disconnect from the rails up there. And there's also a jettison part, a part of the rail here that will open up, so this one will come out as well. So when we open the door, well, first the door, we're gonna check the window seals. So these are the emergency exits, also for these 2 windows, also from the inside or the outside. Make sure that the seal is completely good, and that the red ribbons that you see here are in place. So when we open the door, we go from close to open. The door will first come out and then slide forward. So now you see you can't use those 2 other windows, but we got a big door up here. So if I come a little bit closer, well, you can't see it here, but this stop here, that will open up when you pull this handle, and the door will fall down. Normally it's locked in 4 places, so we have to check these 4 locks here, and this one, and this one, and these locks. And you see here that a little piece of metal, that's a micro switch. The micro switch is in here, and so there are 4 micro switches, and when all 4 micro switches are pushed in, they will have a light in the cockpit that door is closed or open. So now the micro switches are not engaged, which means that they have a light, and when the door is in place, that light will extinguish. So you have to check them. If one of those doesn't give a correct sensor, because if one of those 4 micro switches won't give any contact, they will have a light, and that means that it's an unsafe door. So you have to check that, and I had it many times, because you open the door, close the door, open and close the door many times during a flight, especially with army troops. And dirt will come in here, dirt will come behind the micro switch, or it is bent. You just have to wiggle it around, bend it a little bit, so the micro switch will make some contact again. Alright, so we done that. One major thing to know, that if you want to jettison the door, don't stand right here and then pull on that handle. No, you have to stand on this side, pull the handle, because the door will slide down, and if you're standing here, the door will fall on your toes. So, and then again here you got another fuel cap, and then you would go upstairs. But first you do your whole walk around, and you go upstairs, and these are the steps to go up there, but I'll explain that later. So, and again we got a normal fuel cap up here for extra tanks for gravity refueling. Another window, check the seal. For the there's also a version with these kind of we call that sponsons. And on the outside here, where you see the insert, there could be a flotation device, and also up front here, and we had them right here on the side, and those are just big balloons which will inflate, and then you will float on the water for about 24 hours, and then the helicopter would sink. So, and back here you got your pressure refuel point, and you have to be read this very good. So normally it's a 50 psi, but nose up from 5 to 3 degrees, nose up it's 29. Also 3 to 5 nose down is 29. Defueling is 5. Aircraft altitude more than 5 degrees nose up or nose down is 21 psi max, and normally it is 50 psi as it says here. See flight manual for all approved fuels. Pressure refueling, aircraft altitude is 3 degrees nose up or 3 degrees nose down, maximum 50 psi for refueling. Alright, so then we come down here. We're gonna have a look around the tail section, and all this round part on the top, where you can also see some extra antennas. You can rivet them open with some screws, and you can inspect the whole tail drive shaft that goes underneath that. And it is just very thin It's not metal. It's I don't know the English word for it, but it is composite material. So you're gonna check that one, and you make sure that everything is secured. Here you can look from the side, and you can see all those screws, and you can see directly if one is loose or not. And we come here at the beginning of the tail section, and we got a small door here. So let's go down. So in here it's maximum 150 kilograms or 330 pounds. In our helicopter this was open. We didn't have this plate, this was all open, and this is especially made. You can stow some cargo in here, of course, some luggage. But for us it was open, and what we did, or was designed for, if we go on to the side, we see a rotor blade here. So the length of one rotor blade fits exactly in here, all the way to the front of the aircraft, just where you see the seats up there. It would fit in there. So from there all the way up there, and you can have extra rotor blades, and you put them on a stand in the cabin area, and then secure them in place. So you can have an extra set of rotor blades. You can transport them, especially needed, especially in for military transport. If you're one of your helicopters has a problem with rotor blades and needs changing, you can get 5 rotor blades in there and fly them to that helicopter so they can fix those rotor blades. That's what it's designed for, and you just get them from in here all the way up front, and then you can close this door. It's also a very nice place to sit. You can sit here and have some lunch and some coffee if you wish to. And let's see if that placard is still okay. Let me see if I can stand up. I can't stand up here, but what does it say? Max load baggage. There it is. And you have to keep in mind, so if I stand up here, and that's the best thing of VR, of course. You see, it's 250 kilogram here on the top. Maximum load 550 pounds. And down here it's also max 250. But if you're loading on M1 and M2, it may not exceed 350 kilograms. Wow. That's a strange place to hide a fire extinguisher, but again. Alright. So that's that one. And you close it. And then, of course, you have to make sure that this one is horizontal in the closed position, because you don't want this one to open. So you got your radar altimeters down here, and some extra VHF, UHF antennas, another antennas, and then we come at the tail section. So, and here you see a danger with an area, with a big arrow, danger, and it's not that the danger is up there. It means danger, stay on this side, because what you got here is the tail rotor. And because now I'm crouching, but normally you're a little bit taller than this. So normally you would be up here like this. And if you walk all the way, oh, that is a little bit too far. I'm missing my keys. Wait a minute, stand up. There we go. Here we go. So normally you would be something like this. can't go any further. Alright. So, the tail rotor is very dangerous, of course, especially when the rotors are running, the engine is running, and you come back here. You don't want to get close to the tail rotor. So, every time we did some passenger transport, you would stand as a loadmaster right here to get everyone in, and nobody is allowed to go beyond you to the back of the helicopter, because that's the danger area. We would stand here near the door opening, just around here, and let everybody come in. But for the sake of this walk around, we're gonna check the oil of the intermediate gearbox here. That's the intermediate tail gearbox. So the tail drive shaft comes from the main, the two of the main gearbox, which is up there, just between the two engines, or after of the two engines, that drives the tail drive shaft. We'll get here at the intermediate tail gearbox, and you're gonna check the oil level from here, and it's supposed to be checked from the ground, and then you would see that the oil level, and maybe I can go up, you see the red circle, and it has to be in the red circle. So that's what you have to check. And also, of course, you check all the rivets up there. Alright. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Wrong keys. There we go. Right, I'm gonna check the tail rotor. The tail rotor is 4 blades. And you see the blade dampeners, the 4, all different colors. So you got the yellow, the red, the green, and the blue one. You're gonna check that, and you're gonna check the 4 lock wires that are connected. And you're gonna check that you don't see any oil here on that cone, because if you see oil there, then the bearing from the tail gearbox, which is up here, is leaking, and that's not good, because you don't want to lose oil from the tail gearbox. Then this part underneath the ventral fin, this bottom part is very important, because this is plastic. This is all plastic. This is metal, but the bottom part is plastic. And if you go down here, you won't see it here, but right here should be a water drain. It's just an open hole, like the diameter of a pencil. And what that does, if water comes down here, there will, in the rain or whatever, it will accumulate in here. So you want all that water to get out of that drain hole. If that drain hole is filled with dirt or anything and water can come out, and you will get a lot of water in here. And for your center of gravity, that's really terrible. But because look at the arm from here all the way to where the main gearbox, or where the main rotor blades in the center are. And that distance is so long that a little bit of weight here can cause you to go out of your center of gravity, which is only about 10 centimeters. So that's not much. You don't have much play with your center of gravity. It's about 2 centimeters left, right, and 5 and 10 centimeters fore and aft. So that's not much. And also in wintertime, when that drain is closed and water comes in here, it starts freezing. It's one lump of ice in here. You don't want to have ice in there as well. Then the other important part, that's this little thing here, and we call that the tail guard. And what you do is you're gonna grab this tail guard, push it upwards, and there's a I don't know if you can see it right here, but there's a shock absorber up there. So you're gonna push it upwards just to check if the shock absorber is working. And while you're here, you're gonna crouch down and you're gonna look underneath if you see any scratches there, because if there are any scratches underneath there, it means during the landing the pilot has flared a little bit too much, what caused the tail to lower too much and then hit the ground with his tail guard. And the tail guard is just here to prevent, in case that happens, that the tail rotor hits the ground. Because when the tail rotor hits the ground and you lose your tail rotor, you start spinning and you end up on your side. So, very important part, very important to check, because if they have hit the ground with this tail guard, you're gonna need to check that shock absorber, but you also need to check this part here. So you have to unscrew the whole tail section and make sure that everything is still secured. No cracks there from where the tail section is connected to the rest of the fuselage. Right, coming up on this side, we're gonna check for all the static discharges. That's those little pins that are sticking out. Those are static discharges. So from static air to release that back to the normal air. And then you got your horizontal stabilizer up here, and you will see a extra wing in front of it, and this is for slow speed, because the horizontal stabilizer, it will stabilize the helicopter. It will give some extra force, down force, and you see it is shaped like a wing on a Formula 1 car. And for slow speed they need this extra little bit of wing in front of it. Alright, then we come up here, and those two latches that you see here, those hatches here, those are normally for chaff and flare dispensers. You can have chaff and flare dispensers on military helicopters. Over there. Got another antenna up here, and then we come around here, and we got another sponge on here. We're gonna check here those things and the fuel caps and everything. Right, now then we go, you did your walk around. We're gonna check this door again. We're gonna check here, you can see it, this one will go down. Just gonna check. Close the door. There, it's closed. And to close the door, normally you're gonna slide it backwards in place, and then place your both hands here on those yellow marks or on the handles. It's best to do it on the marks, and then you're gonna push the door in. And when you do that, especially at those two places, you're gonna push all four connections at the same time in their place. So don't start pushing here on the left, because you only will push those two in and you can't get those two inside. What does it say here on this placard? Operating position for the plug door. Alright, so that's it. Right, so then we come up here. You got some static ports. Here's the door jettison handle again. Gonna check that they are free. When they wash the aircraft, they will have stickers on them, so water doesn't come into the static ports. And if that aircraft is just coming out of a major inspection, sometimes they forget to take the stickers off. And you need that because otherwise you get some false information for the flight computers. Right, and then here this is for compressor flushing. So what you do up here, you can get clean water, you can flush clean water in here. That's for the left hand and the right hand engine. So when they fly overseas in salty air condition or in very sandy conditions, what you can do is you got a card with water on it, with a compressor, and you're gonna connect two hoses on here, and then under pressure you're gonna flush the compressor of the engine, which means that you can remove with normal water, remove all the salt on the compressor blades, because you don't want salt on your compressor blades, because that will is very corrosive and will destroy your engine. So those are those two. Then we come up here and we want to check in here. So this is your 28 volt GPU, and this is 115 volt GPU. So you can put it in there. You see here 28 and 115 volt, 400 hertz. Another tie down point, and behind this one are the batteries located. As you got another part for all your flight computer compartment. This is just vents. Alright, now let's go to this side again. And what you would normally do is, if you want to check up here that the door handle here is in the upward position and this one is down and flush. If you want to check the engines, first thing you do is open, you're gonna climb up this handle upwards, then down, and then you can slide the whole back side here to the back, and you will see the aft part of the main gearbox. Then you will open this engine cowling here, so it's this handle down to the open position, and you can open the whole engine cowling, and you can walk inside the engine cowling to inspect the engine. If you want to open the other side, when this one is slided backwards, there's a little bridge where you can walk on to the other side, and then you can open the other engine cowling. And you can also open the multipurpose air intake and slide it a little bit forward so you can look inside the engine compressor. So you can check there for dents. That's what you have to do. Now we are at the multipurpose air intake. As you can see, normally the air, if I'm gonna stand up here, will come from the front inside and then to the compressor of the engine. And you see those two, it's like a ball, but it's we call them bullets. They're now backwards, so the air can come in from the front. You can also put them forward. I will show that to you in a minute. And then you can close up the complete air intake from the front, and then the air will be sucked in from the side, and you see all those little black circles. Those are like corkscrews. So the air comes in there and it will twist around, and if it's a sand laden air, so you're somewhere in the desert or on a beach or whatever, it's dusty, that sand in the air will be pushed outside to the outside, and clean air will go through the inner side, and all that sand is then collected on the outside here of the air intake, and then you got this fan up here which will blow out all the sand. Hey, smart, isn't it? And also, when you are flying in icing conditions, you don't want ice to accumulate here in the front of your air intake. So you're gonna close the air intake with those two bullets, and all that icy air will accumulate on the side because of the way it's designed. Ice on the outside will, because of the helicopter is shaking, it's at the engines, it will fall off. Maybe some water will come in, and that will be thrown out by that fan. And there's another fan on this side. So those are the multi-purpose air intakes. So let's have a look inside and see how that works, because that's what you have to check, of course. And I don't want to make this video too long. Alright, so now that we are in the cockpit, we need to get the battery on. Switch the battery on, and so we can have a look at the overhead panel. So the battery is now on. This one, that's the guard. That should be always like this, and those switches are brake wired to that guard. If you pull on this guard, everything will shut off. That's the emergency cutoff handle or bar. Right, so from here you will see the multipurpose air intake, and if we're gonna look up here, it's now in the off position. If you go to continuous, you see bullets, bull, they're going forwards, and now it's off. Light will come on, so the bullets are transitioning, or now in auto landing gear. So normally when you fly this helicopter, this switch will be in the auto landing gear position, which means that if we go outside now, you will see that those two are in the auto landing gear position. So if I'm gonna have a look outside here, alright, you see they're closed. They're both closed. Right. So now I'm going inside. I'm gonna switch to off, outside, and you will see they retract. Going back inside. And you put them on sand filters, going outside, and they go forward again. Alright. So, continuous, you can also switch on the anti-icing for left and right. And that is your anti-ice. And now if I switch them off, the bullet will go there, and your anti-icing will still be on, and you have to switch that off as well. So that's the multi-purpose air intake. So if you want to fly with this helicopter and this switch is in auto landing gear, keep in mind that when the bullets are forward, so the air intake is closed off on the front side, that will cost you 2% in performance, in engine performance. So especially in a very hot environment, or hot or high environment, you're limited with your engine performance. And when you close those two bullets, you close the air intakes, it's gonna cost you 2% of performance. So if you need that performance, or make sure that if you need those air intakes to be closed, either in auto landing gear or continuous mode, keep in mind that you can't load the aircraft to its max capacity or max takeoff weight, because you won't have enough engine performance. Alright, And in the next video we will go through the startup, and I'm gonna talk you about all different systems here. Also, the systems that are not simulated are the training idle switches, which are up here. That is for single engine training. And then all here for the engines. And this one, you see it automatically, when I open this one, it will start up, but it should be in the stop mode. And these are backups, but we don't need that one. Alright, and this one should be back as well, like that. Alright guys, well, that was a quick walk around. Of course you can check the lights, of course, when you do your walk around. You're gonna switch on all the lights and you're gonna do a quick walk around and to check all the lights. Alright, I'm gonna switch this one off and I'm gonna say goodbye, and thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about this helicopter. It's a very nice helicopter to fly. It's got the flight computers in here. It flies like an Airbus, like an airliner. It's all fly-by-wire. It's not made by fly-by-wire from FSLTL, of course, or but it is fly-by-wire. It's the inputs you give go to the flight computers, and the flight computers will send a signal to the actuators, and those hydraulic actuators will give an input to the main and tail rotor blades. So yeah, it's fly-by-wire. Although it feels like you're flying with cables and everything, that's not true. It's all hydraulically powered, and it is all fly-by-wire. Right. Okay guys, that was it, and see you in the next video, and bye for now, and thanks for watching. And if you like these kind of videos with a in-depth explanation of all the system, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, and take care.